Hello, it's a lovely good morning from here in Delhi and hope that each one of you are fine, healthy, hale and happy. So now, coming to the business end, now in this particular session what we are supposed to actually take up, in fact so far what we have done in this particular topic, or should I say chapter, bonus issue, we have covered three aspects and three what we call concepts, and to be very honest with you, these three concepts are the core what we call area or the crux area whereby you are going to find that the entire wheel of the chapter would revolve. So you must have also seen and realized that this particular chapter is not a tough one, neither it is complex, neither it is what we call cumbersome. So quite easy, and now in this particular session we are going to pick up some what we call more questions. If you remember, in the first concept we saw actually when the bonus issue is made to the fully paid up shares, and in the second one when bonus is given to make the partly paid up shares as fully paid. So, and even we have covered the aspect whereby we saw actually simultaneous case, correct? So now we are going to actually take up some more issues in this particular what we call session, and we will pick up some practical also. So you just actually unfold the material which has been supplied by us, and bonus issue we are picking up question number 1.1 to begin the session of the day, correct? So here we go. Now just have a look over question number 1.1 just to make the points more clearer. Correct. Here is question number 1. Balance sheet of New Wave Limited, as you can see, on 31st of 3/2019 is given to you. In this question, you can see actually there is authorized share capital. You need not require to take into account authorized share capital at all. You need to have a good what we call idea with respect to the issued and subscribed capital, which you can see happens to be 80,000 equity shares. One share is of rupees 10 each. And as you can see 7.5050 called up. So equity share capital which is given in the balance sheet is uncalled one. Then we have got in this case capital redemption reserve. Now capital redemption reserve, that means it is capital nature reserve. Then we have got plant revaluation reserve. Now to be very honest with you, plant revaluation reserve, because it is a revaluation reserve, that means it is not realized in cash. You cannot consider this reserve for the purpose of the bonus issue. Then security premium is capital nature reserve, we know, and nothing is mentioned, so we shall always presume that entire security premium is realized in cash. Then we have been given development rebate reserve. Now development rebate reserve, to be very honest with you, is a statutory reserve, and I have already told you we are not going to consider statutory reserve for solving the questions on bonus issue. Investment allowance reserve is also a statutory in nature reserve, so we are not going to consider this one also. General reserve is revenue reserve. So all in all, we can say that in this question, three reserves: capital redemption reserve, then we have got in this case what we call in general reserve, and security premium. These three reserves can be what we call utilized for the purpose of the bonus issue, depending upon the fact whether the bonus is to the fully paid shares or partly paid up share. Just to remind the thing that whenever bonus is given to make the partly paid up share as fully paid, then we can use only what we call revenue reserves. Now in this question a little bit clumsy only. See here, it is written that company wanted to issue bonus share at the rate of 1 for every 2 shares held. Now because in the what we call additional information, it is given that bonus ratio is 1 share for 2 share, and I have already told you that whenever in the question bonus ratio shall be given, then it means such bonus issue is given only to the fully paid shares. But the problem here is that here share capital is not fully paid. As per the direction of the question, we conclude that this is a bonus issue to the fully paid up share. But the problem is that share capital which is given to us in the balance sheet is not fully paid. So you will have to make them fully paid, but not by making a call, rather by utilizing your reserves. That means even though this question is not specifically mentioning that partly paid up share capital is made fully paid by what we call utilization of ratio, by utilization of reserves, in spite of that, you will have to make them fully paid by what we call utilizing your revenue resources. Is it clear to you or not? In below, it is given that the company is offering a bonus of 1 share for every 2. which means it is a bonus to fully paid up share. But the problem here in this question, as I said, is that in the balance sheet, share capital is not fully paid. So quite obviously, you will have to make that particular share fully paid. But how you are going to make them fully paid? Through utilization of resources. Now, when the partly paid up share capital is made fully paid through utilization of resources, it means indirectly you are offering bonus to such shareholders, isn't it or not? So, now we shall pick up the solution of this question. So, solution step. Question number 1.1, this is the question. So, let me pick up my red pen, favorite pen. So, here we go. Correct? You are ready? I hope so. So, 1.1 question number. Now, in this question, first of all, step number 1, I am going to compute calculation as we normally do, calculation of bonus amount. So, first of all, we are going to calculate the bonus amount, how much amount actually we need for the purpose of bonus issue. Now, I have already told you in this question, I am diagrammatically actually reflecting this working. Indirectly, it is a case of simultaneous bonus issue. Bonus to make partly paid up shares as fully paid. Bonus to make partly paid up shares as fully paid. Bonus to make partly paid up shares fully paid. How do we calculate bonus amount in case of what we call such a situation? We take the number of share 80,000. We take the uncalled amount is 2.50. I think that is equal to 160 plus how much it will be. Let me take the calculator. Calculator is lying here. So it will be equal to 80,000 into 2.5, that is equal to 2 lakh. So 2 lakh is the bonus amount with respect to make the partly paid up share as fully paid. Besides that, company is also making bonus to fully paid up share. Bonus to fully paid up shares. Bonus to fully paid up shares. Bonus to fully paid up shares. How do we calculate? We take the number of shares. The number of shares, as you can see, is 80,000. Then we take bonus ratio, isn't it or not? Now bonus ratio is given to us as 1:2. So we are going to take 1:2. Then we are going to compute bonus shares. So bonus shares will be equal to total number of shares 80,000, isn't it or not? For every 2 shares, company is offering 1 share. So divided by 2 into 1, that will give you the bonus shares which the company is going to issue. Now 1 share will be of ₹10 each by the time such bonus issue is offered. The reason being is that prior to this, shares will be made fully paid up. So now the face value of share is 10. That is also the issue price. So 40,000 into 10, 4 lakh. This is bonus to make the partly paid up shares as fully paid. So you can use only revenue type of reserves. Whereas this type of bonus issue is actually with respect to what we call bonus shares which are already fully paid. So in this case, you will utilize first of all capital nature reserve resources, and if the need arises, then you are going to take up what we call use of revenue reserves. So these are your working. Now journal entries, step number 2. Journal entries. Now you are going to pick up the journal entries. Journal entries. So what will be your journal entries? The first journal entry will be like this. Utilization of resources, utilization of reserves to make partly paid up shares as fully paid. to make partly paid up shares as fully paid. Correct? What will be your entry? In this question, you have revenue reserve in the form of general reserve. So you are going to pick up general reserve. How much amount do you need? You need only 2 lakh. Why 2 lakh? Because there are 80,000 shares. Correct? And uncalled amount is 2.50. So 80,000 into 2.5. So general reserve account debit to equity share capital. I have passed the direct entry. You can pass 2 entries also. First entry would be call account debit 80,000 into 2.50. You can also pass 2 entries. In fact, I have directly written the entry. Correct? I hope that you understand that. So this is entry for making the partly paid up shares as fully paid. If you would have passed 2 entries, your first entry would have been share call account debit to share capital account. Then the next entry would have been general reserve account debit to share call account. By combining these 2 entries, we will be left up with this entry. Correct? Now, we will pass the entry for to make partly paid up shares as fully paid. What will be my entry? Entry number B. To make the partly paid up shares as fully paid. Utilization of resources, UOR, it means utilization of resources for the purpose of bonus to fully paid up shares. Fully paid up shares. So what will be your entry? Your entry will be, because now you are going to utilize the reserve for the purpose of what we call bonus to fully paid up share, and we have already gone through the provisions at length, and we know that when we utilize the reserve for such purpose, in that case it is always better to give preference to the capital nature reserve first. Now in this question we have security premium, and security premium is 1,50,000, so I pick up security premium 1,50,000. Then capital redemption reserve. Capital redemption reserve is also there. Capital redemption reserve coincidentally is also worth rupees 1,50,000. Now you need 1 lakh more, because reserves which we need for the purpose of issuing bonus share to fully paid up share is rupees 4 lakh, which we have already computed. Now we will use general reserve. There is still a balance of rupees 1 lakh in the general reserve, isn't it or not? To equity share capital account, or simply share capital account, that is equal to 4 lakh. This is the entry which you are going to pass for bonus to fully paid up shares. Now notes to account. Note number 1 with respect to share capital. When you prepare note, always write your authorized share capital. In the notes, authorized share capital must be written. Authorized share capital, which is given in the question, is actually 15 lakh, as you can see, isn't it? 15 lakh worth of authorized share capital is already given. However, you are not going to use this amount for totaling purpose. Now you write issued, subscribed and paid up. Issued, subscribed and paid up. As per balance sheet, your authorized share capital, as you can look into the balance sheet, which in the outer column it is written as 6 lakh. First you write that amount. Then look towards your entry. Entry number 1 states that equity share capital is credited by rupees 2 lakh. So I am going to add 2 lakh here. Correct? Now entry number B states that equity share capital is getting a credit of rupees 4 lakh. So I am going to add 4 lakh. So now my share capital is worth rupees 12 lakhs after the bonus issue. Note number 2 is with respect to reserves and surplus. With respect to reserve and surplus. In the balance sheet, as we can see, capital redemption reserve is actually 1,50,000. But now this reserve has become 0 because entire 1,50,000 has been utilized for the purpose of bonus issue. Plant revaluation reserve account, PRR. We haven't utilized this reserve as it is not realized in cash. 20,000, correct? Similarly, security premium, we have utilized the security premium entirely, so no balance is left in security premium. Development rebate reserve. Development rebate reserve is also a reserve which is not realized in cash, and moreover it is a statutory reserve, so 2,30,000. Then investment allowance reserve, IAR, in the short form I have written 2,50,000. We didn't utilize this reserve. It is a statutory reserve. Then general reserve. Balance in general reserve was rupees 3 lakh. First we utilized 2 lakh for the purpose of bonus to make the partly paid up share as fully paid, and then remaining 1 lakh was utilized for the purpose of bonus to fully paid up share. So we can say that balance in general reserve now is absolutely 0. So all in all, you will add it. Now it is equal to 5 lakh. So this is how you are supposed to do this question. This is complete answer, but just to have a good practice, now I am also going to prepare the balance sheet if you wish to. Balance sheet. In the balance sheet, towards the liability side, first of all write shareholder funds. Then write A, share capital. Note number 1, which you have already prepared. And as per note number 1, your share capital balance now is 12 lakh. You are going to write here 12 lakh. Then reserve and surplus. You have already computed reserve and surplus as per note number 2, and balance happens to be 5 lakh. There is no other item, so your balance sheet total will be 17 lakh. Towards the asset side, we have only sundry assets in these questions, and sundry assets have been given as 17 lakh. Very small balance sheet in this case. So this is how you are going to do this particular question. Is it clear to you? Correct? Not a very tough one, as you can see. And now, just let me actually fix up the sheets here first. So after having done question number 1.1, now we pick up, in fact you need not require to note it down also, we pick up question number 1.3 just to make the point a little bit more clearer. 1.3, not a tough one, not tough one, entire chapter is easy, as you can see. Question number 1.3. In 1.3 you can see in the balance sheet, okay, I will put up the question before you. 4,000 equity shares of 100 each. Again the equity share capital is not fully paid. Share is of 100 each, 80 we have called up. There is security premium balance, of course it is capital nature reserve. Then similarly capital redemption reserve is also there. Then we have revenue reserve in the form of profit and loss account and general reserve. Then we have sundry liabilities in the form of creditors. Director recommend the following with a view to capitalizing the whole of the security premium, capital redemption reserve and general reserve, and 50,000 out of profit and loss account. What does this particular sentence means? It means directors of the company wants to utilize the entire balance of security premium, entire balance of capital redemption reserve, and entire balance of general reserve, and only 50,000 out of profit and loss account for the purpose of the bonus issue. Correct? Capitalizing means for the purpose of bonus issue. Existing shares are made fully paid without making the shareholder to pay for the same. So existing shares, first of all, will be made fully paid without making the call. So on similar lines, we are going to solve the question as we solved the previous one. Each shareholder will be given bonus ratio in the ratio of 1:2. So both types of bonus issues are available even in this particular question. So first of all, we will write here bonus calculation is step number A. Bonus calculation, correct? Bonus calculation. In order to have the bonus calculation, first of all, I am going to write bonus amount to make partly paid up share as fully paid. Partly paid up shares as fully paid. $4,000 equity shares are there. Uncalled amount is 20. So rupees 80,000 you shall require out of reserves to make the shares fully paid. And once the shares will become fully paid, then you are going to offer them bonus shares in the ratio of 1:2. So bonus to fully paid up shares. Bonus to fully paid up shares. So for that we require number of shares. Number of shares, as you can see, is actually given in the question to the extent of how much, that is equal to 4,000. Then you will write here bonus ratio. Bonus ratio is 1:2, and then you are going to compute the bonus shares. So bonus shares will be equal to how much? Bonus shares will be equal to 2,000 only. You are going to multiply it with the issue price. Because issue price is generally not mentioned in the question, so we take the face value always, but remember now your face value is 100, correct? So total bonus amount will be equal to how much? Bonus amount will be equal to rupees 2 lakhs. So bonus amount is rupees 2 lakh. Now you have computed the bonus amount, you can pass the entry quickly. So what will be your entries? Step number 2, you can easily manage this question of your own, isn't it or not? Journal entries. Sir, why you are doing this question? We can do it of our own. Yes, I am very sure. I am passing the direct entry. Utilization of reserves in the short form. Utilization of reserve to make partly paid up shares, PPS. I'm intentionally using the short form, but don't use them in the examination. Utilization of reserves to make partly paid up shares as fully paid. Make this habit of writing the narration always. I have seen actually a student generally don't give much attention to the narrations. So you require rupees 80,000. So from where you are going to pick up 80,000? Because question has specifically stated that they want to utilize profit and loss account. Is it clear to you? Question has very specifically stated. So that is the reason. First of all, I am going to pick up profit and loss account 50,000. Intentionally I am using 50,000 because it is given in the question that they want to use the whole amount of general reserve and 50,000 out of profits. So 50,000 out of profit, still we need what we call 30,000. I took that amount from general reserve, and then I am going to write equity share capital account 80,000. Only revenue nature reserves can be utilized for the purpose of what we call to make the partly paid up share as fully paid. You should be aware of this. Now second entry which we are going to pass is utilization of reserves for the purpose of bonus issue to fully paid shares. Bonus issue to fully paid up shares. Now please pay attention, I am using FPS, fully paid share. Intentionally I am using this short form, correct? So we require 2 lakh, but when we make such sort of bonus, we always go first of all for capital nature reserves. Now security premium balance is there, that happens to be 60,000. You are going to pick up 60,000. Then you require capital redemption reserve. You need in fact capital redemption reserve. That happens to be 70,000. Still there is a shortage of what we call 70,000. We can easily fall upon general reserve. There is a balance in general reserve to the extent of 70,000. Then I am going to write here 2 share capital, equity share capital. Now equity share capital is 2 lakh. So this is how you are going to do this question. Now if you want to make the notes, I want you to acquire practice and proficiency in preparation of notes, accounting notes, notes for account, correct? So first of all, share capital, as you know, as far as share capital is concerned, first of all, you write the amount which is appearing in the balance sheet, that happens to be 3,20,000, isn't it or not? Then you look into the solution which you just did. Equity share capital is getting a credit of 80,000 as per entry number 1, and as per entry number 2, equity share capital is getting a credit of rupees 2 lakhs. So now your equity share capital is worth rupees 6 lakhs. Correct? So balance in equity share capital is now 6 lakh. Note number 2, reserve and surplus. Reserve and surplus, security premium balance you have utilized comprehensively, no balance is left. Capital redemption reserve is 70,000, you have utilized that reserve also. General reserve balance is 1 lakh. Out of 1 lakh, you have utilized only 70,000. 70,000 and 30,000 you have utilized already, so no balance is left. First you utilize 30,000 as per entry number 1, then as per entry number 2 you utilize 70,000, so no balance is left in general reserve also. Profit and loss account. Profit and loss account balance, as you can see, profit and loss account balance, which is given in the balance sheet as 3 lakh. How much you utilized? You utilized 50,000. Why? Because as per the direction of the question, directors are interested only utilizing 50,000 out of P&L. Correct? So 2,50,000 balance is still there. So all in all, we can say in our reserves, balance is 2,50,000. This is how you are going to do this question. If you intend to actually prepare the balance sheet, you can do so. Now we will pick up the balance sheet also. Balance sheet. In the balance sheet, shareholder fund we write first, then we write A, share capital. How much is share capital? Share capital balance now as per note number 1 is 6 lakh. Correct? Then reserve and surplus. Note number 2, 2,50,000. Then there is no non-current liability. However, current liability in the form of creditors is there, sundry creditors. Sundry creditors are worth rupees 1,50,000. Total is 10 lakh. And as far as your assets are concerned, sundry assets are already given to you as 10 lakhs. Correct? Is it clear to you? So this is how you are supposed to do This question you can manage section 1 quite easily, but still we are going to pick up some more question to acquaint you, correct? And that will pick up in the upcoming session.